Welcome back to Movie Recap. Today I'm gonna show you a 2015 Canadian thriller film called 88. Spoilers ahead. Sit back, relax and enjoy the video. The movie progresses in and out of a woman's double timeline, where she wakes up both on the side of the road and in a diner. It begins with an attractive woman named Gwen, or Flamingo, her alter ego, in a fugue state, a rare psychiatric disorder, sitting in front of a huge amount of food at the diner with no memory of anything that has happened to her. When she suddenly becomes aware of her surroundings, she feels uncertain of her identity, and is clueless about where and how she got there. She is completely dazed. She panics, and drops a bag full of gumballs, and she heedlessly pulls out the gun that causes the place in a state of turmoil. The commotion catches the attention of the police officers. Unwittingly, due to her distress and shock, she shot the waitress. She immediately runs out of the diner, steals a car, and quickly drives away to run from the police. Eventually, she becomes a wanted felon, and her violent journey starts. At the same time, she is also on the run in another timeline. In the middle of the road, wearing different clothes, she aggressively killed a man to steal his car, and got a key to a motel. While on the run, she sees flashes of her memories with her lover, Astor. She feels completely confused and devastated. Luckily, inside the bag full of gumballs, there is a key to an inn that indicates number 88. She parks the car in a gas station, and asks the woman in the convenience store where it is located. In another timeline, Gwen is called Flamingo, her alter ego. She also went to a convenience store at a gas station, where she did something silly, messing around, and had her clothes changed. As compensation for the mess, after asking the young boy's name at the cashier, she paid him with a car key she had stolen, and left with a piece of a newspaper she grabbed. Going back to the present, Gwen reached the inn. The room is cluttered. She discovers a lot of information from the photos that help her regain some memories, mainly about Astor and an old man. Several cutout images from a newspaper of individuals are on the wall. She picks a picture of an old man named Cyrus. From her recollection, Cyrus seems to be a crime boss who is possessive of her, in order to kill her and Astor. She can feel all her emotions from those memories, and finds herself in revenge, wanting to learn more about her lover's death, which makes her nauseous. But as she opens the curtain in the bathroom, she finds the dead body of a young man in a tub, and remembers his name, Winks, her best friend. Her memory of Winks showed that they both have a connection with Cyrus. That makes her feel terrified, and curious about her memories. She hastily packs her bag, and puts anything she thinks she will need when suddenly, a man named Izzy enters the room, pointing a gun at her. She is agitated, and she attests that Cyrus killed Astor and Winks. Izzy is about to shoot her when Ty, who knows Gwen as Flamingo, enters the scene, and shoots him instead. She is anxious, and utterly clueless about him and their plan, but he drags her out with him. Then, Flamingo's scene at the motel enters. She got room number 88, where she drew herself with cigarettes and milk, while ruminating about her lover, Astor. Back to reality, Ty is scolding her while driving when another memory flashes again. Flamingo encountered Cyrus and the gang at a restaurant, while having her pancakes. He was trying to make amends because he was afraid of losing her, since he knew that she overheard his plan of killing her and Astor, after she saw him carrying a dead body of a woman who happened to be Ty's sister, Dakota. Then, she shot one of Cyrus' men outside, and ran away immediately to find out more about this man. Back to reality, Ty is helping her as her hand is bleeding due to a missing pinky finger, which she is clueless as to how it occurred. He also tries to refresh her memory by interrogating her. Still, she barely remembers anything aside from her lover Astor's death, and Cyrus killing him. She is about to back out of their plan as she does not want the idea of killing someone when Ty reminds her that they are a team, and their goal is to get revenge on Cyrus for killing her boyfriend and Ty's sister. Flamingo returned to room 88 after her encounter with Cyrus at the restaurant. She is curious about Cyrus, and his intentions with her, which led her to dig, and find out. Back to Gwen and Ty's scene, as they prepare for their plotted revenge, they go to an illegal arms dealer named Lemmy, to procure new weapons. Before doing so, the police find them, and Lemmy initiates a firefight. They are about to run when Lemmy is shot and killed. Ty is wounded as he continues to fight, and escape while Gwen, too afraid and shocked, is arrested. Then, a flashback of Flamingo. She went to the address she found in some newspaper, and reached an apartment that used to be her and Astor's home. Reminiscing their memories through the photographs and objects there, she discovered how deeply she and Cyrus are connected. She then felt enraged and devastated about Astor and Wink's death. Confused by these memories, and unable to grasp her motives, she returned to her quest to explore what happened. In the present, after getting caught, Sheriff Knowles plays a clip from the DVD they found at the diner where she accidentally shot the waitress, trying to piece everything together, starting from the incident at the restaurant to the dead bodies of Winks and Izzy they discovered. Sheriff Knowles is bewildered and suddenly concludes that Cyrus is setting her up out of jealousy. At the same time, Gwen is also baffled and is trying to make sense of it. He then offers Gwen a deal to deliver Cyrus as the sheriff seems more interested in catching Cyrus. Ty, to the rescue, shoots the police officers. Gwen objects to any further killings, but Ty is hit by a police officer just before they can finally escape. Ty fulfilled his part in getting the intel, so Gwen is on her own. She chooses to continue with their plan as they promised. Another flashback again shows the continuation of Flamingo's exploration where she went to the club named Flamingos. Flamingo was trying to find out more about Cyrus. She met Winks, who she forgot the name, and asked about Cyrus' whereabouts. She ordered some milk, and noticed the picture of a woman held by another customer, and remembers something, but continues to request. Meanwhile, Cyrus is in a room enjoying himself with a sweet touch of his doll while they are both snorting a coke. At the same time, two men were trying to imply something indirectly to Cyrus about a curly woman who is missing, and the one he dated named Dakota, who also seemed to be dating their boss, and Cyrus' supplier, Vinny. He was irritated by it, so Cyrus killed the other man by cutting his throat while Cyrus had his lip stitched to give them a lesson. At the same time, Flamingo is waiting for Cyrus' appearance in the bowling alley. Not long after, she ordered cheeseburgers and a glass of milk, while waiting when suddenly, Cyrus, with his chick, went in right before she was about to have a bite. She fired shots while exiting, but she could not hit him as Cyrus used the young lady as his shield. Another man shot her that cut her pinky finger. That was when Ty entered the scene, which she then did not know and helped her on the way out. While driving, Ty was expressing his astonishment at her when all of a sudden, Flamingo knocked him out. Going back to the present, after Gwen fled from the police station, her memories of Aster flashes in as she continues to run off. Meanwhile, a police officer follows her as she is overspeeding. The officer asks for her license and registration. When he returns to his patrol car, the officer warns Gwen as she stands in front of him. He can sense that she will do something, so right before the officer finally pulls out his gun, she immediately shoots him, and rushes back to her car, panicking. She remembers Ty as she holds a piece of paper containing Cyrus's location, and proceeds with her quest to get their revenge. The flashbacks continued when Flamingo knocked Ty out. He found himself in a room tied up in the chair, where Flamingo woke him up by showering him with a jar of milk straight to his face. As he came back to his senses, she asked him about who he was, and his intentions while pointing a gun at him. That was when he explained his sister, Dakota, who went missing after being under Cyrus's custody. Flamingo confirmed that Cyrus killed Dakota since she saw it with her own eyes. That freaked him out despite knowing that possibility. He seemed hopeful right before this confirmation, now he felt enraged. So, they came to terms, and both planned to kill Cyrus to get their revenge for killing Ty's sister and Flamingo's boyfriend, Aster, after seeing Dakota's dead body in Cyrus' hands. They then established a partnership. Going back to reality, Gwen reaches the place indicated on a piece of paper. She enters the house carefully, and sees Cyrus comfortably sitting at the corner, who seems to be waiting for her. He waves a white cloth, declaring to surrender. Suddenly, one of Cyrus' men, Jessup, comes pointing a gun at her. Furiously, Cyrus orders him to leave them alone. Cyrus then reminisces about Flamingo, Gwen, who went in and out of various foster homes, at a young age before he adopted her. He describes what kind of a person she used to be, and how special she is to him. Then, she sarcastically supports his idea of treating her as special by adding that Cyrus even waited for her to reach 16 to begin screwing her. He admits it, and even confesses that he regrets, and wants to repent his actions, and he is dying to make amends with her. However, she is resentful as she is reminded of her lover's death, and continuously blames him. She looks completely baffled. At that moment, Cyrus feels sympathetic towards her. He admits that he never liked Aster, and even despises him for taking her away. But still, he insists on denying the responsibility of killing Aster. As a result, Gwen feels even more frustrated about hearing him deny the one fact that constantly moves her in the course of her quest of knowing behind Aster's death. Afterward, Cyrus shoots his 20-year right-hand man, Jessup, to prove his sincerity to her. He knows something is wrong with Gwen as she cannot ultimately remember the truth about what happened. He noticed that something seemed to have caused Gwen to act like that, as she appeared out of her character. She can only remember when she witnessed Cyrus frustratingly asking for help as he carried Dakota's dead body. He was agitated, and appalled when Gwen saw him in that situation. She wanted to run away, but she came back thinking of helping him for the last time. Unexpectedly, she overheard that they were having a conversation, so she listened and went quietly. Cyrus and his men were discussing their plan to keep Gwen from doing something that could trouble him. Cyrus was afraid that Gwen misunderstood what had happened, and accused him of killing the lady, which he did not. At the same time, he feared losing Gwen, especially knowing that she and Aster were about to go out of town. Just then, he ordered to kill both of them with rage. She rushed to escape as soon as she heard that, but they noticed her movement. Cyrus supposed she was still hiding, so he ordered his men to look for her. Gwen is firm with her belief that Cyrus killed his boyfriend because he knew that Aster would take her away. However, in the middle of this confrontation, many police came out of the blue and surrounded them. All of a sudden, she experiences further flashbacks, which show her encounter with her best friend, Winks. It revealed that she killed him while he was trying to stop her from her plan of killing Cyrus, and dismissing her belief that Cyrus killed Aster. It made her feel resentful. A minute later, she came back to her sense of reality. Cyrus is asking her once more to think about what happened. Then, she recalls and cries simultaneously, when her memory tells her the event before Aster was shot and died. Gwen sees herself rushing back to their apartment right from Cyrus' place to warn Aster about him and their plan. She was terrified when she saw Cyrus' car outside, then, suddenly, Aster's body fell to the ground. Yet, she is still curious about who pulled the trigger, and seems afraid of what she appears to have grasped from that memory. So, she tries to reassure herself that Cyrus is responsible for everything. She then asks Cyrus to tell her who it is exactly. In a flash, she remembers that right after she accidentally shot Aster, she felt incredibly guilty and devastated, then lost herself. Shockingly, Cyrus and his gang came baffled as they watched her leave her lover with her blank face. Gwen experiences further flashbacks, which reveal that she was responsible for several deaths while in a fugue state, including Wink's murder. Meanwhile, Cyrus is firm with his principle that he will not let himself suffer in jail for a crime he never did. So, to save Gwen, and give her a chance of escaping prosecution, he tells her to blame him for his death, and instead, he commits suicide by shooting himself right into his mouth. The movie ends with a shocking revelation that the person who killed her lover is none other than herself. It appears that due to the traumatic life event she experienced, she developed a rare psychiatric disorder called fugue state. It is an amnesia-like disassociation from one's own identity that causes her to establish a new persona or alter ego, which through the further flashbacks she experienced, revealed to be known as Flamingo. Finally, the scene returns to the diner, where Gwen stares blankly out of space. Then, she came to her senses as she heard her lover, Aster's favorite song, being played on the jukebox right before she entered into a daze. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this to help the channel out. Have a nice day.